You
right.
can't keep running
Oh,
away.
oh,
What? Whoa,
you see that?
that was crazy.
Anyways,
Poor guy. My
um,
goodness.
did we always crash out about? I think the thing people need to realize is that when people go on missions for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they're wearing the shirt and tie and the black tag, or the sisters wearing their dresses and the black tag. Like it's not it's not the same as when Protestants say that they do mission trips. It's like we're not doing a
Oh,
mission
bro.
trip. Like we're like we do 2 week humanitarian trips where we go and I mean different people from our faith will go and do different service projects and help people out, whatever. We don't call that mission trips. And it's
Yeah, no. You guys, whoever says that, dude, I immediately get upset because I did not go live in the freaking butthole of West Texas where I served my 2-year mission just for it to get called a trip. It was not a trip, dude. No one, when people ask me where I served my mission, I say West Texas because no one is aware of any town that I was ever in. And then people have the audacity to come out here and call it a trip, bro. No.
yeah, like I started my mission in Kitty Bess, right? Most people never even heard of it. I'm 18 years old. Never even left the country. I don't even have a passport. I open a letter in the mail. An apostle of the Lord has sent me to Kiribati, Kiribati, as it's spelt. And I'm like, okay, look it up, Google it. I go out there. I remember, I remember being on my mission. I'm sleeping in some house. I don't have running water. I don't have a refrigerator. Like I'm living on this island. And I remember one time going to a lesson. We'd arranged to visit some people and talk to them about Jesus at, I think it was 10 o'clock, right? So we take off and it's a cloudy day. And I show up to these people's house and like everyone's just like in bed. No one's awake. But these people's houses, they don't have walls, right? It's like, imagine this house with like the pillars, but take away all the cobblestone and it's kind of like an elevated platform with
Yeah.
just people hanging out. It's a great house, good wind flow, love it. But you can see everyone's just asleep inside, and I'm like, dog, it's 10 o'clock. Like normally people wake up pretty early, and I, I, we kind of are looking in there, and I think just our presence kind of woke them up, and they, sorry, they
You're just getting mobbed by
they roll
pillagers
over
right now.
from their sleep and they're like, hey, elders, what time is it? We're like, it's 10 o'clock. And they're like, are you serious? We had no idea. And they're like, we need a clock. And they're like, I'm like, what? And I realized, like, these guys are just going off the sun for time. Like, it's 6 a.m.,
So sick,
the
bro.
sun rises. At 6 p.m., the sun sets. In the middle of the day, it's straight up in the air. So, like, you'd be like, oh, yeah, can we come back at, like, people would point, too. They'd be like, yeah, come back at, like, this time tomorrow, 3 o'clock
And they'd
tomorrow.
point at the sun.
They'd point at like where the sun would be. Like, yeah, come back 3 o'clock.
That's
I'm like,
so
okay.
sick.
And that was
That's
when
how
it
it's
hit
supposed
me.
to be, man.
Well, dude, and then in that moment, the thing that really sealed the deal on it is right then I just hear these kids go, back off, which means shark. And they're sprinting out of the ocean. You can just see two shark
They're sprinting
fins.
to the ocean.
Yeah, it's just to look at these sharks. You see these two shark fins in the water. And I'm like, bro, where am I? So, yeah, dog.
I didn't even know they had
And
sharks.
then some Protestant will go to like Mexico for a week and like stay in a resort and
And
like
stay in it.
teach
Yeah.
a 1 hour English class, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I did a mission trip one time." It's like, dog,
Take some photos with the kids to put on
yeah.
Instagram.
It's like, dog, I had to
They learn like
learn
3 Spanish words.
a
Like, bro, I thought
language.
you learned the language of Kiribati, and then we both got sent home for COVID. You got reassigned to um, Indiana and spoke Haitian Creole there. I went to West Texas and I spoke Spanish. Like, we're not like just hanging out, enjoying a trip. We are like learning the freaking language. It is entirely foreign to anything Protestants or Catholics are doing. And in the last like 100 or 200
Yeah, it's like
years, like they're
reminiscent
probably
to
doing some chill stuff
what
before that.
what Catholics used to do.
I know they
Well,
were
I mean, I
bawling.
guess I gotta be
Actually, I asked
careful.
Josh Benson the other
I
day. I
gotta be
was like,
careful with
dude,
how I say
eh,
that because there's also a lot of questionable things by those
yeah.
missionaries. But
Well, dude, I was talking with Josh Benson. Josh Benson's like a Protestant Instagram content creator, and he's like makes fun of the church all the time. And I was like, dude, what happened to the Protestants, bro? You guys used to be cracked at missionary work. And he was like, dude, I'm a monergist, man. Like, I don't even think it really matters that much. And I was like, oh my gosh,
what do you mean
that
by
is so
that?
sad, bro.
Like taking the
So,
gospel message to people doesn't matter?
well, I mean, it actually does. It is like the rational thing to do from his point of view. Like, if you don't think that you have a role to play in your salvation, then you can't be like awoken to be saved. Like, you can't choose at all to participate in your own salvation, like many Protestants do. What is the point of missionary work? Like, when you ask them that, they'll usually say like, "Oh, well, God like asks us to preach the gospel in His name, so we do it." But they're not able to say like why it matters that they are the one doing it, because God's just gonna
I
regenerate
know,
them
but
anyway, you
how
know?
is God gonna wake these people up if they don't even know who Jesus is?
Exactly. It's a huge problem, I think. But like from the monergist perspective, it's like God's gonna do it whether you do it or not. So it just really doesn't matter if you do it.
Yeah,
It's all predestined.
I know, but like you can look throughout history and like God seems to bring the gospel to people by helping them out with by sending
Dude, I'm with you.
believers.
I am 100% with you.
Like you can still
Dude, these
say
guys with the
like
axes are so strong.
can't you still say like I was predestined to like do this, but like this is how
Yeah, they
God
could say
is
that, I think.
choosing to wake people up.
Oh my gosh, bro. Actually got to like half hearts there. That was scary.
Yeah, you're soft.
Um,
That's
but
freaking
yeah,
it's high
dude,
pressure playing. People are gonna watch me miss my shots,
so
bro.
I, so dude, I get to West Texas my first day. I land at the Lubbock airport, has like three gates. It's tiny. And I look out over the freaking window and there is nothing. Like I cannot see a thing as long as I look. It's unbelievable how empty and flat and dirt, like weeds cannot even grow in this area. I kid you not. And I get off the plane and get picked up by my mission leaders,
Oh, we
and
got
we
these
head
flying guys,
straight
bro.
to the
Sorry,
Texas Tech campus.
I'm gonna
Oh
die.
my gosh, bro. Do not die.
It's
Get
the
out of
guy
there.
who spawns the flying guys. He has like a speed potion or something.
Did you kill him?
Yeah, I killed him, but sorry, I keep going about your story.
I'm trying to light all these guys on fire so they don't kill you as fast.
It's alright, I'm good. I'm fed now.
Dude, this is more terrifying than the first day of my mission. Goodness gracious.
This is actually a lot what it's like to like go on a mission.
You know, fighting these pillagers is actually pretty much what you do as a missionary.
But it's just evangelicals that you have to ward off.
Yeah, no, it's just Protestants that don't like me. Yeah, so my first day, I get picked up from the airport, and we drive in a van with other missionaries and my mission like leaders. You have some like older folks who are like called to be like the mission president to like run the mission essentially,
Yeah.
and they take me and all the other missionaries that I arrived with. There's like 12 of us, and we go straight to the campus of Texas Tech, and I get paired up with a missionary. His name's Elder Wizenat. Still remember it. Great, great guy. He is like taking me out, showing me the ropes. And dude, first lady we talk to starts grilling us on polygamy
Really?
and on how the early members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints had multiple wives. And
She wasn't
I
grilling you on
folded,
Old
I
Testament
froze.
polygamy.
No, 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 of course not. No. And Elder Wizenat, the goat, who was helping me through that, that's what he brought up. And he was like, well, do you have a problem with like, Israel being scattered through or through multiple women? Like the house of Israel, Abraham had multiple different
Yeah.
wives, and that's like how we have the concept of Israel today. Not the nation of Israel. Don't get me confused. And it was like I folded, bro. I was so scared. I was like, dude, what am I even gonna say to these people the
Yeah.
whole time I'm gone?
Because you're like, what
This
happens
makes
when this guy's
no,
not
yeah,
here?
yeah. And luckily, bro, that kind of just forced me to lock in, and I did a lot of reading and I did a lot of study about church history, and I got like, way deep into biblical scholarship. I even started reading like Sam Harris and other atheists on my mission. I started getting into philosophy and theology.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I was like ready to
Here,
talk with
come
anyone
sleep
about
today.
anything. I'm sleeping.
Oh.
But it was terrifying that first day when she asked about polygamy, bro. Like I did
Yeah.
not think that would ever be the case where I like was unprepared for something. Like I thought I would just kind of always be talking with people who are, curious and here to like listen to me
Yeah.
give the basics of my faith. But no, bro. Everyone wanted to talk
Well,
about
because I
the
was thinking about like
details.
if some guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, I'm Buddhist or I'm from this certain sect of Christianity. Like, can I tell you what I believe?" I'd be like, "Yeah, let's go. That sounds cool."
Yeah.
Um,
I wouldn't imagine like grilling him on like if the Buddha actually existed,
yeah,
which there's a chance he didn't.
but
Especially if they were like an 18-year-old kid.
well, it'd be different if our approach was to go out and like, "Oh, you're a Catholic. Here's why the Catholic Church is wrong."
Oh
But
yeah,
it's
bro.
like
We never
that's not
give
what we
people
do
reasons to doubt
at
their
all.
current denomination or
Dude, did we
faith
let the
or
pillagers
whatever.
kill the villagers here? I think we failed, kid.
Did we really?
Because I forgot we were gonna. Yeah, we definitely failed. Because I forgot, like, I was gonna
Here I
just
am
cheat.
thinking we're like fighting him off like a G.
Well, we were, but
And
I forgot we're supposed to cover up this door so that like they can't actually kill the villagers. But we did
is there
not
none
do
left
that.
in any of these
Well, there
houses?
was only like one, anyways. Because I opened up that house to go to sleep, and I was like, "This is weird. Where's the like? Why is there a
There's the
pillager in here?"
resident.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they just opened up the doors and just slaughtered like the one villager that lived here. Frick, bro. We're rookies. Um, let's go airlift. Let's
Oh,
go airlift a villager over here
yeah,
and
let's
do
do
it
it.
again. Um, people watching this probably know what happened, and they're like watching us like run around like confused.
Just
Um,
thinking we're owning the pillagers, but really we're
yeah,
just
but no,
failing at our duties.
you ran into that stuff a lot earlier than I did because I had in my mission in Kitty Bass, it's like South Pacific Island. There's just parts of the other. There's really just two. I mean, there's Protestantism and there's which is like they're coming from like a Methodist branch. Um, and I'm not sure how like connected they are with us. I just shot you with the broader Methodist church, but they split a couple years before, like maybe like 1 year before I got there in like 2018. I got there in 2019, so it was
There's
actually
a big
pretty
Methodist split
dope.
a while ago.
Yeah, but like I don't know, was it? I don't know if it was like a local split or a
I think
nationwide
it was a
split, a
very
worldwide split.
entrenched institutional split, but no one correct me on that because
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know
know the
either.
details.
One way or another, a lot of people were like, we'd meet those guys and they'd be like, "Oh, well, like I just found out my church isn't true, so yeah, what do you got?" Like, pretty open to it because they're pretty
Just
troubled
because of the
by.
split.
Well, yeah, because it was like they found out that there was some sort of corruption or something. I don't know what. I don't know what the reason is for the broader church split, but in Kitty Best, if you ask them like, "Wait, why'd your church split?" They'd be like, "Oh yeah, money. They were stealing money." The other church, and you're like, "Oh, weird." Because there definitely was still no like progressive, like there was no liberal branch. They were both extremely
Yeah,
conservative, but they just had beef all of a sudden.
bro,
Um,
that is so funny.
oh yeah, do you want to go get Jameis,
No, man, I can't do it.
the gassed dude?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
so
go get
sad
him.
about our failed raid.
That was insane. I can't
Well,
believe we didn't even think about that.
yeah, which maybe that's cheap to do that, but yeah, when that got crazy and we ran away, we just like abandoned posts. Like I forgot the whole concept of it is to protect the guys in the village. Um, but sorry, what was I saying?
Methodist split.
Oh
They were
yeah,
really,
but
really
like so
down to
those
hear you
guys were
out.
usually pretty chill. The Protestants, like it was very well known. Like the pastors were not chill. Like, but they're such like in the South Pacific, in like Polynesian and Micronesian countries, like they're so hospitable and nice that like
Yeah,
it was very common to have, like people from other faiths every day would invite us in. Like, hey, we'd be like, hey, do you guys want to hear a message? They'd be like, no, come in, sit. We're like, okay, we'd come in and sit.
they just wanted to hang.
And they'd be like, eat our food, drink our drink. We don't like you guys, but like we need to host you. Or, like we don't like your church, but like we need to take care of you guys because you're in our country.
That is so sick, bro.
Really cool. And so, but then you had the Catholics, where the Catholics were more of a, because in my mission, it really resembled like the Catholic Church I heard about in history class, where like lay Catholics didn't own Bibles. Only their fathers did.
Oh, really? Huh.
Which, like, maybe that's
I
weird.
actually respect that.
And so we would, and then their fathers would preach that we, the LDS missionaries, worked for the devil. And so you
Did
had
you?
like, no, I didn't. So then you
Hmm.
had
Interesting.
you had people that were just like terrified to meet with us because they,
Yeah.
and so they're kind of at odds between like their culture and their faith because they knew that their culture demanded them to just take care of us and be hospitable, whereas like their fathers telling them not to talk to us, not to even
Hmm.
bring us into their homes. So, anyways, but
Did you ever meet with any of the Catholic clergy while you were there?
no, I never did. I did meet with one of the Protestant pastors, though. He's one of my friends, which
Were
was
they
really,
chill?
yeah, that was a whole nother thing. I can talk about that. That was a. I was the reason I was talking about that division was because I didn't run into any like anti Mormonism until I went to Indiana on my reassignment.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we came home because of COVID. Are you getting Jameis the guest
Yeah, I'm trying
off
to get
Felix
him.
Falcon?
Okay, I'm on him.
Let me get some bread to lure these guys upstairs. So we yeah, we got home because of COVID. I was home for 21 months, kind of just trying to follow the spirit and be in the right timing. And I was hoping to go back to Kitty Best, but Kitty Best didn't open up for a while. And then I went back to Kitty Best after a year in Indiana. And when I went back, I was like the only dude that spoke English and Kitty Best because we had these native Kitty Best missionaries that had been there. They hadn't been to the missionary training center yet. They were very just like basically just got set apart on their home island to be missionaries, and that was that. And then so when I got sent home, we had an elder who was here. I need to make a boat. We had an elder who was a pastor's son who had joined the church, and when he joined the church, the pastor was like, "Hey, never come back. Like, you're no longer my son." So he didn't even know that his son was an elder. All he knew was that
Guys,
his.
this is my wife. She wanted to come say hi while we're filming.
What's up, Kens?
Baylor says hi.
But yeah. So when I went back, I was kind of this anomaly where I spoke Kitty Best and English, and we had this elder who had been serving as a missionary. His parents didn't even know. I think his mom knew. I think he was still in touch with his mom, but she hadn't told his dad that he was now a elder for the Mormon church. And they lived on this island that was it's like part of the island that you had to get to by boat. And basically what happened was his mom got really sick, and they were scared she was going to die. And his mom says to the dad, sorry, I was in her mom. His mom says to the dad, "Hey, I know you hate our son because he joined this other church, but I might die. I demand to see him." And so there was kind of like this question of like, okay, this is obviously we want him to be able to see his mom, but there's like almost some concern for like this elder of like, dude, this pastor and this community up there like really does not like him because of this
Yeah.
decision that he made to join our faith. And they're about to find out that he's an elder on top of it. So it's like, that's not good. Bro, we don't have any leads up here? Oh, here we go. And so, anyways, what the conclusion was, they're like, let's send Elder Johnson, me, with them. Because he's like a foreigner, and there's like this cultural obligation to be nice to the foreigners. So, like, maybe that'll like soften the vibes up there. Like, they can't be as, mean or whatever to this elder who's going to go visit his mom. So I didn't really know this elder very well, but we hopped on a boat together and headed up to see this pastor. And in my mission, I'd only ever heard like very scary stories from elders about pastors. All right, you can fly him over there, kid. He's tied up. Okay, wait, let me get on.
It's getting late. We could get shot down.
Oh, he's not tied up. I choked. um, sorry, but yeah, um, wait, all right, fly up. I think I'm just holding him, but that's fine. All right, you can fly over there. So yeah, it was pretty crazy, bro. We got off the boat and go into like they have these like compounds, would be like a fenced off area with like a house for the pastor, their chapel kind of vibe, like their meeting house, and we never went in those as elders. Like we knew that we were not welcome there, and so we walk into this area that I'd like walked past in similar villages and stuff, but and we go in there, and this elder it kind of like says hello to his dad as he walks in, and he goes into this other, I don't want to say a hut, but this other structure that had
What's it called in Kitty Bess?
it's called a booyah, which is just one of
Oh
those,
yeah.
yeah, or like a kia kia. But there's like four pillars, and there's just a platform. It's like open area, right? So like, we could kind of see them in there, but that's where his mom was, and then his dad was still in the main one, and this the pastor. So then I sit with this pastor, and I'm like literally one of the most nerve wracking like moments of my life. I'm so nervous to be here. Like these guys hate us, and I'm like just kind of making small talk and introducing myself, and he's impressed with my language, which was good. I think here you can drop me off. I'll break a hole in the ceiling and we'll drop him in. And so
Just gets full.
help. So then I am talking to this guy, and the whole time I'm there, he's just rolling like local like cigarettes, basically. Oh,
Okay.
where like he's like selling them. And so I think if I just break his boat, he'll go to bed. In this bed.
I don't know.
Go to bed, mister. There we go. Good
Oh,
job.
you went in the other one. Great.
Yay. All right.
Now let's get Jameis back home and safe before he
Yeah,
gets shot down
you
by
take James
skellies.
home.
I don't have a lead. Oh, I do have a lead.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you take Jameis home. Here, I'll get on.
I'm scared he's gonna fly away though.
No. It's all right.
But
I'll just run home. Um,
I'll come get you. Just come get on.
no, it's okay.
Never mind, there's skellies down there.
Yeah, just get high. Don't let Jameis get shot, bro. In fact, I can protect Jameis from the ground. Like this skeleton right here is trying to kill him. But yeah, dude, and I'm talking to this guy, and he just has like a block of tobacco, and he's like breaking up the block, and he's rolling them into like basically the coconut leaves, and like making these like local, I don't know what you call it, like cigars, and
Hmm.
people are coming and buying them from him, and as we're having this conversation, and we ended up, getting along and bonding, and we stayed there for a couple of nights. We didn't stay with them. We stayed at the missionary home in the area, and we were able to I just like between me and the dad kind of talking over our differences in maybe belief, and him seeing that I'm not just some like American bozo, but I'm like really interested in the culture, and I was appreciative of the different things that they were doing. And then him, of course, just being back, and his mom like really she ended up recovering, and her like
Oh wow.
morale was very much improved. And he did give her a priesthood blessing, which is cool. I don't really want to
She
attribute it.
accepted it. She was happy with it.
Yeah, she was never the one that like cared about the difference of faith. But I think the biggest thing that probably contributed to her recovery, for someone who doesn't believe in priesthood blessings or is like whatever, is the fact that she got to see her son, and like her family was reconciled. And when I went back to visit Kitty Beth, it was actually this pastor's family that like picked me up from the airport, and like it wasn't even a member
Wow.
of our faith that like kind of running me around. It was them that were like, hey, we want to pick you up from the airport. We want to like host you while you're here. And so I slept at their house when I went back and visited a few months after I'd come home. So Yeah, that was my interfaith experience on my mission, but I never did speak to
Bro, I
any
talked to,
Catholics.
it was so good for me. I talked to so many people with degrees in theology and
'Cause
pastors
where would
and
they go to school? Like, why were they getting theology degrees and then going to West Texas?
to start ministries. There's so many churches out there and there's
Oh,
so much demand that it's a very safe place to go and
weird.
plant a church.
Yeah,
And there's a big Baptist school right there in Lubbock that's pretty great. And
I will say these ministers. We started by talking about how Protestant mission trips are not like ours. These Kitty Best guys, bro, they do 5-year assignments to different islands and villages, and they are lit. Like that's more than we did. We just did
that's
2,
metal. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's pretty cool.
Give another ominous potion.
Granted, they do get paid. Yeah, I do. They do
I
get
will
paid,
say
but it's
though,
still cool.
so I didn't baptize anyone the whole time I was out. It was like,
Yeah, which usually if that happens, it's like your fault.
yeah, and it
I'm
was. It
just
was
kidding.
absolutely my fault.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, there's a witch. But so it was like I was constantly grappling with like, dude, why am I here? Like this place sucks.
Yeah,
Because you get, for those of you who don't know, you get it's the most insane concept. I don't even like think about it enough. Like I just got a freaking letter in the mail that says you are going to live the next 2 years of your life here and you're going to learn this language. Like you do not have any say in the matter at all.
yeah,
And so I was like, I get my call, which is what's called, and I'm going to Lubbock, Texas, which is just the name for the area that covers all of West Texas and the eastern half of New Mexico, all the way down to the border. And I was having zero success, bro. So I grappled with this till like the last day. But my uncle actually he was a TV show, still is a TV show producer, and he produced a TV show called the West Texas Investors Club with a guy by the name of Rooster McConaughey, and he is the brother of one Matthew McConaughey. If you read like Matthew McConaughey's book, he talks about Rooster, and he's the older brother. Oh, we're starting. Let's go. Did you wall that off for the villager?
well, no, I got scared it wasn't gonna work because so I need to here ring the bell. Oh, here he goes. Okay. Well, now he's
So
running. Where's he going? Get in.
he's scared.
He's terrified. Hey, get in your house, bro. All right.
Nice. So anyway, my uncle, who's not a member of the church, has a connection to Rooster McConaughey, who is a West Texas legend. He owns a ton of the oil pipelines that the oil and gas companies use to, transport their material. And he just has so much money. And I reached out to my uncle and I was like, yo, dude, like I want to meet this guy. Like he sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And my uncle tells me, he's like, all right, I can tell you how to get a hold of him. You're going to go to KD's barbecue in Midland. Don't say KD's nuts.
Wait, who's
Do
barbecue?
not say it. I'm not going to say it, bro. And he's like, you're gonna have to ask the waiter or waitress for Rooster and just wait a few minutes and he should show up. So I feel like an idiot, right? Like I like order barbecue and then I tell the guy, I'm like, hey, is Rooster around? Like we're looking to talk with Rooster. And he's like, no, dude, Rooster hasn't been in here forever. But my uncle gave me backup plans. He was like, if he doesn't show up, call this phone number. You call this phone number, and an unintelligible man will answer the phone. You're not going to be able to understand a word he says. And so I'm like, okay. So we wait for Rooster for a while. Nothing. We don't see him. And then I call the phone number, and it was absolutely true. An unintelligible, like I spoke the Texan dialect. I understood
Yeah.
the deep Texan language and accents very well, and I could not understand this guy. It was like so, it was so insane. And then he gave me instructions to tell the unintelligible man that I want to record a gospel album with him. And my uncle said he's going to get extremely excited when you tell him this. And so I'm like, hey, I want to record a gospel album with you. And bro starts tweaking, starts absolutely losing his mind. He's like, oh! And then he's like, yeah, I could make it out. He said, come to my house, come to my house. And I was like, okay, where is it? And he said, he gave me the specific, I don't remember the road it was on. He said, go south on this highway until you see a big stone Bible. After you see a big stone Bible, turn left and drive until you see three trees. And then after you see those three trees, pull into the driving or into the dirt lot. So we start driving, bro. And we're driving for a long time looking for a stone Bible, whatever the heck that means. And if you've ever been to West Texas, you know it's just like nothing. Like you will drive for miles without seeing anything at all. So we're driving, and I'm like, dude, are we ever gonna see like at what point do we turn back and give up on this? So we're driving, and we see this church like off in the distance, and it's like I mean, it's so small just because it's the flattest place ever. And we pull up, we get closer to the church, and there's like the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments on the
What?
outside of it,
That's
like
dope.
on the corner. And
Yeah.
we're like, dude, that's got to be the stone Bible. That's like the old, like that's got to be
The
it.
only
So we turn,
contender.
yeah, and then we see the three trees, and those are the only trees in the whole entire area. And then we pull up, bro, and what I can assume at this point is the unintelligible man. He like rolls up, comes outside, and he's old, bro, like so old, and he's got an oxygen tank, and he's like he lets us in, opens the gate, we go into his house. It's like a cement box. And dude, he sits us down. He's like, all right, let's record the gospel album. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I was just told that's how to get a hold of Rooster. I thought that was like some sort of code. And he was so sad. He was like, so you actually
What?
don't want to record
He thought it
any
was
gospel
real?
music with me? Yeah. But
Bruh,
he was
you
like,
should
yeah,
have recorded
I'll
something with
get
him.
Rooster. Oh, I don't know ball like that, bro, and I don't even like Christian music that much. Anyway, come to find out, this guy is named Gil Prather. He is a West Texas country music legend. And he has been going around. They call him the Rio Grande Man, just because or the man from Rio Grande at times. And he is just a legend. People like love this guy. And he's like old and he's dying. And he's like, I'll get a hold of Rooster, but just hang out in the meantime. So we're just hanging out with this old guy, and he's telling us about his life, and he's telling us about his gospel music. He gives me one of his Bibles. I still have it behind me, actually. And we're talking, we're hanging out, and then he's like, yeah, okay, I just heard from Rooster. He's coming back in like 30 minutes. So just like, just wait here, leave if you have something to do, and then come back. So eventually, bro, we're chilling, and we just see this pickup roll into the dirt lot. And keep in mind, this is like like a cement box. This house is terrible. And there he is, bro. Rooster McConaughey gets out of the truck, and he walks into the house, and he's holding a book. I'm like, what the heck? And he, I can't censor this part. I'm sorry. So if you have kids, I'm not gonna censor this. But he walks into the house, slams a Book of Mormon on the table where we're sitting, and he says, "You ain't gotta teach me shit. I already know it's true."
This is Matthew McConaughey's brother.
Yes, Rooster McConaughey, who's like just the goat of West Texas, like just a legend out there. And bro, we sat and talked to him for hours, man. Like he was like he loved what we had to say. He already knew a ton about it. He said that the missionaries, his parents would always love to have them, and him and Matthew would sit and listen to the missionaries, and they would wrestle with him and hang out with him. And he said he keeps a Book of Mormon, and keep in mind his name is engraved on this Book of Mormon. So he is literally giving me his Book of Mormon, telling me he knows it's true. And then he says that he keeps it because all of his coworkers out in the oil fields always talk crap on the church. And then he
Oh,
leaves it in his truck so he can say, "Hey, I'm
saving.
actually a Mormon. You shouldn't say that."
Even though he's
Even though
not.
he's not. He's not even a Mormon. But we sat with him and talked forever, and he was like, "So why are you guys here in Odessa, Texas?"
Yeah.
And we're
You were
like,
like, your
"Honestly,
guess is as
man,
good
like
as
we
mine.
can't choose." Yeah, like we just got they just chose us to go here. And he starts cracking up, bro. It's the funniest thing he's ever heard. He was like, "So where can you go?" And I was like, "Anywhere in the world." And he just starts dying. He's like, "You guys got the worst one." He was like, "At least you could go to Austin because they don't know their left hand from their right over there. They're way more confused. Everyone here already knows what they want. They know what religion
Yeah.
they want to be for the rest of their lives." And he just thought it was so funny that we were like in his area. And we talked to him all night. He smashed 2 cigars and 2 tall boys in like 2 hours. And eventually we're leaving, bro, and like he like walks us out. I learned that he has Gil live in his house on his property. That little stone box was Gil's house.
Oh.
And his property, he lives in a giant house a couple acres away. And he is leaving. He like kind of perches up on his truck. He's got his arm up on his truck, and he's like standing above the door when we're about to get in our car and drive away.
Okay.
And he was like, you boys got it tough as nails out here. Or I got to re-say that. And he is so he's saying bye to us. He's perched up on his truck. He's got his arm up there while we're getting in our car, and he's like, "You boys got it rough out here, but you'll be tough as nails when you're through." And then he was like, "All right, see you later." And he slams the hood of his truck and he drives off into the night on the dirt road.
And you and your
And
companion are just left there.
yeah, we're just left astonished that we just like had an interaction with a legend like this. Like,
Yeah.
I can't express like how important he is to like the people
Dude,
down
I feel
there.
like
Like,
it's
people
pretty
love this guy.
easy to imagine, bro. Like, I mean, anyone who's listened to that Matthew McConaughey's book, dude, that's like one of the most popular books. I feel like people our age like love that. And then,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, you just imagine like the most famous person who's ever come from your town, like how important his family is, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
freaking sick.
exactly. And he and that dude, that moment, it like made everything make sense for me because I'd been like so upset for so long that I was, in West Texas rather than like Italy or something.
Yeah,
And I was like, dude, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I'm in a crappy part of the state, not baptizing anyone. Like, this is a transformative experience that I get to have. And like he really helped me see that clearly. And then that's not even the end of the story. So right after we went and hung out with Gil, the unintelligible man, um, I got a call from my uncle that Gil died.
what?
Like right after we went and saw him. And so they invite us to the funeral. Rooster invites us to the funeral because like I got his phone number and stuff.
Actually,
Yeah.
you still have it,
And yeah, of course.
bruh?
Well, I texted him
Gil dead.
when Gil died, and I told him I'm sorry, and he said
Dang.
he's singing with the choir now, and then invited me to the funeral, which was they were spreading his ashes in the Rio Grande at Big Bend National Park in South Texas, which is on the border. Like the Rio Grande is on the border,
Yeah.
so it's in our area. So we go down there and we go to this funeral, and it's at the High Sierra Bar and Grill, which is like a saloon that you read about in or like watching a Western novel, which was where Gil used to play during his during his youth when he was just starting out his career. And
Okay.
bro, this funeral has the most insane cast of characters there. Like there was the amount of like eyes and arms and legs,
Missing.
yes, was unbelievable. And everyone's giving speeches, and Rooster is just the most like straightforward brash dude you'll ever meet. And he was like, he gets up and gives his speech, and he like cries a little bit, and he was like, "I'm so jealous of the nurse that got to pull the plug on that old bastard. That nurse was so lucky that she got to finally he got to be the one to do him in." Like just like refused to stop talking crap for like one moment at this
Yeah.
funeral. And the best moment of this whole thing was a guy in an eye patch got up, this just another unintelligible man, just
Yeah.
Texan through and through, and he gives this. he reads this poem, bro. And I'm not going to remember like all the lines, but he wrote this poem about Gil riding his horse up into the gates of heaven. And he rides his horse up to the master's throne. And the master says, can you be forgiven? Can you trust in me and be forgiven? And in the poem, Gil doesn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And he instead pulls out his guitar and plays a song about when he was a man. And after he gets done with this song, the guy the poet is dead silent in this bar. It's like outside, it's like an outdoor saloon, and he's like, after Gil sang his song, the master raised his hand and said, "All sins be forgiven to the man from Rio Grande." And all these cowboys just lose their shiz. They throw their hats in the air, they're hooting and hollering, and then they uh, get Rooster and his investment partner Butch, who is also extremely loaded, and they hop on their private helicopter with Gil's ashes, and they fly over the Rio Grande. Everyone's cheering and hooting and hollering, and they dump his ashes over the river. And I went home a couple weeks after that.
Dude, that's insane.
It was electric, bro. Best day of my life was being at that funeral.
Well, it's the perfect example of how like when you get your mission call and you like want it to be to like some crazy place. Like I wanted to go to a place like Kitty Best, right? And I
Yeah,
got to for half of my mission, which was so cool. And I struggled when they sent me to Indiana because I had like recently driven through Indiana and it was just like I didn't even notice anything. It was just flat and it sucked. But it's just like the experiences. I remember before I left my mission, that close friend of mine who I mentioned had loved his mission, but then he had left the church. He told me, he was like, dude, you got to go on your mission. And I was like, oh, really? Like, even though you don't really do all this anymore? He was like, dude, he was like, it's the adventure of a lifetime. And it really is, bro. It's like, there's nothing to, like, if I could go on a vacation, right? I would go on a vacation to Kitty Best before I went on one to Indiana. But if I could go on another mission, I would not. If I could redo my mission, I would not trade a single day in Indiana for another day in Kitty Best because I had crazy, in many ways, crazier adventures in Indiana than I did in Kitty Best. And that's like the
yeah.
nature of what we're doing. It's just like it is truly like such an adventure. Like you probably never
You
thought you
never
were
know
gonna
what
have
you're
that
gonna encounter,
experience
bro.
out there.
Never.
But yeah, dude, that's cool, bro.
And I wish there was some way to like, I don't know what we do as a church, but I feel like there's like such a weird like association, like a negative association with going stateside or not going somewhere cool
Yeah,
that like I really struggled with.
yeah,
Like it was so common for people to like when I told them where I go or where I was going, or even still when I tell people where I go, like they'll sometimes even still ask like, "Oh, were you like upset?"
yeah,
And the answer is yes, of course, I was very upset. But I don't know how we like change the narrative a little bit on
yeah.
like it's just a weird problem that we have, and I don't think anyone talks about it. And I think actually there's more people that struggle with it than we
Oh,
might imagine.
100%, dude. And the problem is what happens is people go on these missions to these other places and they kind of go on like faithless missions where they like don't believe anything cool is going to happen to them. They don't believe they're going to have any spiritual experiences because their whole life they've envisioned it being one way and it's actually not that way.
Yeah,
But it's like that's such a wrong way to look at it, you know?
yeah. And it is so like I s- I remember like really struggling with that. And eventually like I didn't come to any sort of like conclusion that like rested my soul or anything, but it was just like over time I just felt like I had a change of heart that didn't come from myself. Like I just sort of let Christ change the way I viewed things over time, and
Yeah.
I entirely I was spinning my wheels about this, just like so upset and anxious about it for so long that I didn't do anything and eventually just like felt like I got healed. But it makes sense. Like I look back to when I was upset about this, and it makes sense why I can see why anyone feels that way because this is something that everyone, including us, believes like comes directly from God. So there's this weird thing where it's like, okay, well, God chose
This.
freaking Fiji for some folks
Yeah.
and Odessa, Texas for me. Like, how does that make sense? Like, that is a clear example of gratuitous suffering,
Yeah.
to put it in the philosopher's terms. But I mean, it's obviously
Gratuitous
not. I don't see
suffering.
it that way anymore. But like, that's how I saw it for the longest time. It's like, okay, God chose something good for someone else and something crappy for me,
Yeah.
which is just like obviously the
A
worst way to see
bummer.
it. But that's I think that's how people see it for the most
Yeah.
part, right off the bat.
No, I know what you mean. It's true. And I can't stack cakes apparently. Um, it's it's perpetuated by people. For like, I mean, the stories we told today are like kind of fun stories, right? That like aren't necessarily super spiritual in nature. Like both of them, like I had a strong spiritual experience, like watching the mother of that friend of mine, recover from her illness and feeling the
Yeah,
spirit guide me with this interfaith relationship that no one had ever really done before. So like in those
yeah,
senses, it very much did feel spiritual, but it's not the stories that you also experience, like the testimony building stories where you watch the Lord work in your life or in the life of someone else's in like an intimate
yeah.
way. And even like focusing on stuff like baptism, like you mentioned, you didn't baptize anyone in West Texas, whereas like someone, the missionaries in Africa, like there's so many people in Africa that are interested in the restored gospel and are joining the church. And um, you, someone could look at that and be like, oh yeah, I got
I
called to
did
West
that, or like,
Texas, so like my mission's not as important because I'm like might not baptize many people. And it's like you look at what you're doing now with the podcast. Like we would not have the podcast if it wasn't for your experience in West Texas, and like you being put in the refiner's fire.
oh,
And
absolutely, dude.
it's
Like
like,
everything has come from w- this mission that I used to just hate so much.
yeah, it's like the Lord has brought about so much good in your life through this thing. And so then it's like for us to just be like, I don't know, like we are faithless. I mean, I was reading,
We are so, dude.
I think it's either Mark 9 or Mark 19, but about the man who asked Jesus, he's like, "Hey, Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief," right? Which is a very
Yeah,
tender story, but we kind of skipped this verse. I think it's verse 19 where Jesus says, um, he says, "Oh, ye faithless generation, how long do I have to be with you?" And it's
yeah.
like, ooh, like no one wants to hear
No
Jesus
one,
say
no
that
one
to
wants
them,
to read
right?
that. Yeah,
But it's like, it's true. Like the miracles that have been wrought, like the Book of Mormon and its inspired translation that has no naturalistic explanation, right? You can go through the centuries of all the different theories people have come up with to try to explain, hey, I have this book in my hands, right?
yeah.
This one right here. I just want to flex oops, my old brick, my old Book of Mormon. This is the Book of Mormon my grandpa was given before he went into the Korean War. But
So fire.
it's like I have this book in my hands. Like, how did it get here, right? And to try to explain that without some sort of divine influence hasn't. No one's been able to do it so far, and that's a miracle. And then you talk about the witnesses of the Book of Mormon and these like big miracles. And then you talk about the miracles that happen in our own lives that get us onto missions that we see on missions, and then and I mean we, like myself especially, like we just don't act like it. Like we just do
No,
things,
dude, never.
and I get sent to Indiana, right? My reassignment. I'm just like upset about it. And even though I have faith in God, like I just don't have faith that He will show up for me, right? It's
Yeah,
like I have faith that He'll show up for other people, but I don't have faith that He'll show up for me. And then I go to Indiana, and sure enough, not only does He show up for other people, He shows up for me in powerful ways, and for you in Texas as well. And so I think that's what's important. That's what serving a mission is really like. It's having intimate experiences, loving God and getting to know Him, and reflecting on these questions of the universe and of the soul, and also watching and learning that God truly does love and is aware of all of His children, even if they are tragic things and people committing large scale atrocities on this earth. And it's, you learn that the God that we have is a God that weeps, who mourns the suffering of his children, and who wants the best for all of us and loves us all. And dude, it's just it was a blessing to do it for 2 years. And
So sick, dude. Best job I ever had.
yeah,
Even though it's not a job and you don't get any money.
yeah, it was though. It really was. There's nothing more meaningful than what I did there. So, and
I miss it every day.
those
Anyways,
relationships. So
if you, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say, if anyone, dude, if you're like thinking about going or thinking about going back, if you went home early or whatever it is, bro, or you're struggling with a call that you think sucks, like reach out to either of us, man. We'd love to chat with you.
yeah, 100%. All right, well, we love you guys. Welcome to PriestCraft. Controversial name, but we think it's hilarious. We're sticking with it. And yeah, I love you guys, and thanks for watching.